Thank you very, very much. That was really great, Jim. Very touched. When Jim Donio called me to tell me that I had won the Independent Spirit Award, I was like, cool. My daughter won that at cheerleading camp one year. Then he told me what the award stood for, and I was truly honored to be the first recipient. I also told Jim that after last year's award show, I was shocked that anyone from the independent record store community would ever be handed a working microphone at NARM again. By the way, did everyone notice the frat boys checking into the hotel today? Apparently there's a Sigma Alpha Epsilon national gathering. So I got here today, stood in the lobby for like 2 hours this afternoon and invited all of them up to the Universal Suite late tonight. I told them the code word is Yuri, and he invented the handshake. They were really stoked. Over 20 years ago, my wife and I were living in Dallas working in the building industry. I was an engineer and she was a designer. After seriously hating on our respective suit and tie jobs, I told her one night, I said, let's move to Birmingham, Alabama and open a record store. Without blinking, Elaine said, let's do it. And she has never wavered in her support of my independent streak. I'm so happy she's here tonight. In case you don't know Elaine, she'll be the one rolling her eyes as you fawn over me at the after parties. As Jim said, back in 1995, Mark Cope and Yvette Zeraldo spearheaded an effort to get many great indie retailers into a room together. The focus of the meeting was to talk about common issues and forming an alliance. For most of that meeting, we spent time whining about how we were not getting treated right. I know you can't imagine indie store owners whining. After everyone got to bitch a while, Mike Dries from Newberry Comics got up. He's not here, he's sailing across the world or something. Suggested that we all look for a way for labels to plug into a nationwide network of indie stores for marketing. That was the light bulb moment that launched the Coalition of Independent Music Stores. Truth be told, though, it was Terry Courier from Music Millennium that got the first Sims project off the ground, not me. After months of phone calls and conference calls and faxes, we didn't have email then, intense planning, we needed an artist to adopt nationwide. Terry suggested Ben Harper could use some coordinated indie store love on his upcoming record. The big problem with Ben Harper was that somebody had to call and sell the idea to Joyce Castagnola. I might be from Alabama, but I knew better than to make that call. So I tricked Terry into calling Joyce. And of course, she was a total sweetheart and really supportive from minute one. We had our first artist, we were off and running, and the rest is history. I look back on the past 20 years of being in the independent record store community with great pride. I think we accomplished many great things, and we met our goals. I was able to work hand in hand with some really great label friends to break some really deserving bands. Of course, I was never alone in my journey. I was able to hone my cat herding skills by working with the best and brightest indie store minds in the country. In later years, we were able to further solidify what we were doing by working closely with Music Monitor Network and Ames. I've also been blessed with having the most amazing employees on earth to work with me and help carry the torch through the years. I was thinking earlier tonight when I saw John Kuntz, I was inspired to open Magic Platter because of our many trips from Dallas down to Austin to visit Waterloo Records. Yeah. I would sit in that store for hours and go, this dude's lucky. So just a few years later, I was locking arms with the great Waterloo to change how the business was running. And I got to say, that's the coolest thing ever. So I'm extremely honored tonight by this award. I feel I must accept it on behalf of all of the incredible, eccentric, and ever-opinionated experts who refuse to give up in spite of everything that is difficult about today's retail environment. Whether selling vinyl, CDs, or high-quality downloads now, indie retail is still a very, very important part of this business and will be for a very long time to come. Please continue to give them your support. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.